The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And belly on up to the 9-foot homemade oak bar. Pour yourself a cold one. My name is Chris. This is the EP Podcast, and it's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. We have a really cool show for you. I'm going to tell you all about it in just moments. But first, let me tell you about the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. I've been talking about them for years here on this show. They've been over in that iconic building at the corner of 95th and Pulaski forever, and there's a reason that they are embedded in the community because they care about it as much as you do. And that total access checking account they have gives you free ATMs nationwide and a $300 bonus with qualifying activities when you open it up. They got brand new mobile banking tools. The kids love them. When teenagers love the mobile banking tools, you know they're good. They have award-winning customer service. There's no overdraft charges and those free ATMs. I mentioned it already. Anywhere you go, no matter what the fee is, who cares? They're going to put the money back in. Some ATM machine in some place that you're just like, what are they doing here? They're charging me $5 to get my money? Don't worry about it. The First National Bank of Evergreen Park is paying for it. Check them out. Corner of 95th and Pulaski, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, member FDIC. This is a special show. Some of you saw it right away. There's video available. Some of you may not have noticed it. If you're using any podcast app, including the eppodcast.com or the YouTube channel, you see the video or you see an option to open it up unless you're using Spotify. Spotify is a pain in the butt with this. So it's possible you're getting video on Spotify. It's possible you're not getting video on Spotify. If you're not, get over to the YouTube channel, go to the eppodcast.com, or just listen. You don't need to watch this show. I've tried to record this show so that if you listen to it in the car, you will hear the same show. You will not feel like you're missing anything. But if you want to check out the video, it's available to you because we are going to hang out with the Evergreen Park Police Department's drone unit. They're flying drones. They have a couple of them. We went to Yukich Field, got a full demonstration, learned all about it. What are they doing? Why do they have them? The whole thing coming up here in moments. And then I figured since I had the show that on video, I mean, it's so cool. I wanted to give the option to you. We're also going to sit down, or actually not sit down, stand in the middle of a pickleball court with John Dwyer, who teaches pickleball for the rec department to all the Evergreen Park residents. There are courts all over the village. We're going to be on one of them and learning a little bit about a game that I've never played, but I've always been curious about. That is coming up. It's a full 30 minutes of good, all the regular stuff. But again, if you want to watch it on video, it's available to you through every app except the Spotify one, unless I figured something out on Monday night. After I'm done with this, I'm really going to try to figure out how to get that fixed on Spotify. But if you want the video, watch it. If you want to listen, that's cool too. Let's go. The EP Podcast checking out something that I was not aware Evergreen Park had. I am standing here with two of Evergreen Park Police Department's finest, Officer Davila, Officer Guzman. Welcome to the EP Podcast. How are you guys doing?
Thank you, doing
Very
well.
good.
Thank you for having
us here.
This is really cool. I'm already amazed by the fact there's a special car for it. We're going to get into it. There is an Evergreen Park Police Department drone unit. You guys are the drone unit, which to me, first of all, I'm curious, like, how do you get selected to run the Evergreen Park drones? Were you good at video games as a kid or what?
No, I guess we got a bit lucky. It's maybe about 10 of us or so that were selected to take part of this program, led by one of our lieutenants here.
Is there a lot of training? Like, is it one of those things where, like, you guys you get the drone, they go, okay, first time you crash it, you're out of the unit? Like, how intense is this?
So I'll get to that question, but you said something about video games. I like playing video games myself.
Yeah.
And I also have my personal drone. So I believe that's one of the reasons I got.
So you've done this before?
I have.
Okay.
A little bit. Not to this intense, but to the training part, there was a lot of training. We had to take a Part 107 exam, which is through the FAA. It was a rigorous exam. We had to learn about the wind, cloud coverage. We have to call in the FAA to get ATC approval because we're actually in Class C airspace here, which is midway airspace.
When you go up, even if you're just driving around, let's say we're at Yukich Field right now, you have to make sure the FAA knows that you're up in the air.
Yes, so we use a map, and then we input some numbers, and then we're able to get clearance that way as well.
Okay, and so now you're pilots. Which
Yes.
I mean, think about that. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, it's already cool to tell somebody like, I'm a police officer, but you're a police officer and a pilot.
You can call us that, I guess. We are FAA certified, but just to go based off of what he said, training is a bit rigorous. The course itself is about a week long. We have to learn how to read aviation maps, weather forecasts, get the appropriate clearance before we even do our takeoff. And then we have to get FAA certified by taking a actual test that is done at a usually airport base. The test itself isn't easy stuff, but we managed to pull through, and here we are launching the Evergreen Park Police Department drone program for the very first time.
Before we even get into why we need drones, which I definitely want to get into, do you watch those? I've seen them on like some of the cable channels, like guys racing drones in between like hoops and down hallways and stuff like that. Have you watched it? And do you think you could do that?
We could do it. It's possible to do. It's not something that we take part of here.
So we have two drones here. We have the Matrice 350, which is our big drone, and then we have a mini drone, which is a DJI Mini 4, which is for quick deployment.
Okay.
The Mini 4 does not have obstacle avoidance, but the 350, the more expensive one, does have obstacle avoidance. That one's able to travel 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
The smaller one only goes like 25 miles an hour.
All right, so now we can get into what we're using them for, because it sounds like there's a lot of different ways that you could use it. I mean, the first thing I think is events. You get a large event, let's say on the 4th of July, you're going to have all those people in Duffy Park.
Yes.
How do you keep track of security? How do you make sure people are safe? How do you spot something and maybe prevent something before if something bad happens? Seems to me that'd be a reason to use a drone, but you also have quick deployments. So you must be using it when you're looking for criminals in the moment, right?
Yes, so for crowd monitoring, that's exactly what we're going to use it for. So for like the 4th of July and the Duffy Park, when we do the fireworks, we're going to use the Matrice 350. That actually has a flight time at 55 minutes. So you're able to set it up in the air, and it could actually survey crowd control for up to 55 minutes. Another cool thing about that is we could do what's called a hot swap. So you don't have to turn off the drone. You can land it, but you can swap out the batteries so you can shoot it back up in the air and be able to monitor crowds, stuff like that. So for example, if there's like a fight or a disturbance like that, we're able to look at the monitor and tell the ground, the people out there on the ground, or people that are on the ATVs, bicycles, where the disturbance is taking place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about this. I told you guys this. I've mentioned on the show before, I used to be a 911 dispatcher. So, I've done regular police dispatch, and there's also been events. And I can only imagine what a drone unit is like, because you're dispatching and you're trying to make sure you're keeping track where everybody is, and then the drone unit's sitting there going, we got something over here, we can see this, and then you almost become the dispatchers, because you have to describe everything that's happening and make sure that they know what they're getting to, where it is, and make sure they get to the right spot as quick as possible.
Just to add on what he said, the bigger drone comes equipped with a gimbal camera. It's a great camera. I mean, you can focus in on stuff from very far away. It has thermal imaging we can use. And our squad car is equipped with a large screen, which will help us look at what's going on actively and then relaying it to officers that are on the street or in the parks, being for events like the 4th of July.
That's the coolest thing. The car here is a dedicated vehicle just for the drone unit. So you don't have a cage in here. You're not going to be able to take anybody to the police station, but what you have is an awful lot of equipment in the back, a screen. You have your drone set up there. It's specific just for this unit, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We'll get more into it. We'll give you a tour of the actual drone vehicle. It has all the essentials that we need, extra battery packs, both drones, and all the equipment that is necessary to.
So I know what a question is going to be. A question from somebody who's watching this or listening to it on the EP podcast is going to be, okay, well, how often do they really use it? Are they watching me in my backyard? Are they constantly up? Are they just using it when there's an incident, or are you guys just flying it around, checking in on the locals? Like, what is the policy?
So I'll be able to answer that. The only time that we use it is prevent self-harm. So if we have a runaway, a juvenile, or somebody that's suicidal, something like that, from the hospital or itself, we're able to use that, get the descriptors over the radio, and then us as drone pilots want to look at the screen and then want to look at the remote, because you have to have an actual pilot and a visual observer. So when we deploy, there's usually 2 officers involved. One can look at the monitor and see where the drone is, and the other one that's on the controllers. Usually the officer that has the visual on it will give out the description while the other officer is giving controls. Another way that we use it is for prevent escape of a suspect. So say a felony or something in that regards just occurred, we're able to shoot it up in the sky and then be able to look at people's yards and stuff like that if they're hiding in the yards. And that's the only time that we actually use it for, we're not spying on people or anything like that. We use it only for calls of service.
So what do the other officers think of these? Like, if they're not in the unit, do they appreciate it? Do they sit there and say, "Wow, I'm glad we had that because it made our job easier"?
I'd say so, yes, definitely. It's a great assistance. Prior to us having our own drone program, we're relying on assistance from neighboring agencies like Oakland Police Department. So it's definitely of assistance to not only our agency, but also surrounding agencies as well.
All right, we're going to get a demonstration. So I can't wait for this. You're going to be putting the drone up in the air. We're going to fly it around. I'm very curious as to how this works. Which one are we going to try? Which one do you guys feel more comfortable throwing up?
We can use both.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can use both.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about racing him? Like, come on. I mean, every once in a while in a training exercise, do you line up against him? Like, it's a slow day, it's beautiful, it's the middle of the week, nobody's paying attention. You come out here and you see who can beat the other one?
No,
we've never done that.
Yeah,
no.
It's although it is tempting to have some fun with it, at the end of the day, we have to remember that every time we throw a drone up in the air, it's registered not only to the Evergreen Park Police Department, but also to our FAA certification number. You can lose your license very quickly, and something we try to avoid. So we try to stay as responsible as we can with it, and strictly use it for police purposes.
Yeah, our operator number, like our ID number, is on there. So when we actually deploy it, the FAA can actually tell who's flying it and the.
Oh, they see it right away on radar.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. First of all, really cool demonstration. Look, I love technology, especially when it comes to policing. I know some people get very nervous about it, but I worked for a police department for 10 years. Every time they introduced something new into the dispatch center, I thought it was cool. When they started putting cameras on cars that could read license plates, I was like, well, they'll catch more guys and the officers won't have an accident, embarrassingly, while they're trying to type it into the computer. Like every time they add something, I think it's good for safety, but I also think it's great that you guys were able to demonstrate how this works and explain it to people so they know not only is Evergreen Park on the cutting edge, but you're using it in the right way. And I want to say thanks so much for all you guys do. We appreciate it. Officer Guzman, Officer Davila, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having
the
us.
EP podcast.
No, thank you for having us. Thank you. It was
awesome. Thank you, guys.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. Incredible small plates, an amazing array of wines, one of my favorite places to hang out, a great time, whether you're going out on a date or meeting friends or just going out by yourself and meeting new people. They have all month long in May, rosés. They got a pink and powerful tasting dinner on the 24th of May, and they have a Pretty in Province Rosé All May tasting dinner on the 31st of May. Both are at 3:30 in the afternoon. They're both Saturdays, and tickets are limited. Every other event already sold out. If you want to get in on it, get to their website, spokenvinewines.com. As for your word on the street, let's see what's going on here. Oh, the first thing I want to talk about, this is amazing. They are looking for a brand new Evergreen Park Public Library Board of Trustee member, and you can apply for the vacancy all the way up till Tuesday, June the 10th. Here's how this works. First off, you submit a letter of interest and a resume to Frank Murray, our good friend, at trustee@evergreenparklibrary.org. Responsibilities include establishing policies, working on the budget, advocating for the library and the community, keeping Frank in line. You know what? I might have to apply if I get to keep Frank in line. You can check out more of that at evergreenparklibrary.org. As for other things going on in the village, the Evergreen Park Community Garage Sale days are coming up June 7th and June 8th. There are no permit fees. This is a 2-day, all-weekend event. If you want to have a garage sale and not have to pay for any of it and be part of this big event, and I think it's going to attract an awful lot of people, not only from Evergreen Park, but the surrounding area, you're going to sell a lot. Or you might just enjoy going around and buying things. Hours of operations would be between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on both the 7th and 8th of June. You want to get in there before June the 5th. You want to register. Actually, you complete the form to register by June the 4th, and then they're going to put out a list of all the participating residents. So you want to get over to evergreenpark-ill.com, sign up, and sell whatever you want to sell at the garage sale. Join the Public Works Department for an update on all the latest projects happening in the village on Tuesday, May 20th. That is actually the day this episode comes out at 6 p.m., including street repaving and lead service line replacement. More details, go to the village website. We've also talked about those things on the EP podcast. You can search it up with the very easy search option. Look up the shows where we talked about that and had the folks in to talk about it on the EP podcast at theeppodcast.com. And also the 17th Annual Children's Health Fair at the Evergreen Park Firehouse at 9000 South Kedzie Avenue, taking place on Wednesday, May 28th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. Free height, weight, BMI, and health screenings. Meet OSF Healthcare, Little Company of Mary Medical Center providers, healthy fun activities, and more. It's a free event open to kids of all ages, parents, and their families. And also don't forget about the farmers market. It's open now, Thursdays, 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. over at Yukich. Yeah, we just did that drone thing over at Yukich. That's where the farmers market is as well. On to some pickleball and John Dwyer here on the EP podcast. The EP podcast out at Duffy Park, and I have John Dwyer with me, who has been on the show before. He teaches pickleball, and this is a tennis court converted to a pickleball court. Is that what it is?
Well, it's kind of dual.
Okay.
So you can play either tennis or pickleball, but it's lined for both. And the blue lines are for pickleball and the white
tiny
lines are for
squares.
tennis.
I mean, like
Yes.
we're in this very small area here. You do not have to move around very much to play pickleball.
Well, then I wouldn't say that. I would say that you don't have to move around as much,
Okay.
but there's a lot more lateral movement and a lot quicker lateral movement than there is in tennis. So tennis, you're going back and forth. You are doing some lateral, but it's a little bit quicker in pickleball.
Okay.
Because you have to move faster to one side to side, especially, and then you have to position and the ball's coming actually really fast.
I see 4 squares. I see basically there's a square, two in the front, 2 in the back,
Yes.
on either side, but it's a 2-on-2 game, correct?
Correct. That's
So
correct.
where does everybody stand?
So when there's 2 ways to look at it. There's offense and defense. So when your team is serving the ball, you're going to both be at the back line,
Okay.
at the baseline, which is the farther blue line back there.
Okay.
And the ball has to be served from behind the blue line and within the square area there.
Right.
So
for those on the video, and actually they could probably see it even more better back there, the back area back here behind you.
exactly.
Okay.
So it's always served on an angle, from
Okay.
one angle to the other. Okay. After that, the ball can be hit anywhere within the blue lines. Okay. Now, there's a couple of interesting rules with pickleball that no other sport has, right? And pickleball was originally designed as a kids game by 2 guys that had a summer home in Seattle.
Yes, it was actually in 1965 in Bainbridge Island, Washington, correct?
That is
Outside of
correct.
Seattle. And I know that because you're wearing a shirt that
That's
says
right.
it.
My sweatshirt is
His
official.
sweatshirt says the birthplace of pickleball and has the date and the location, so I'm not
Yes.
that much of a genius. Okay.
And I wasn't. I was actually born, a little bit before pickleball was. But most people haven't heard about it until the last couple of years.
Yes.
And so, but the guys who designed it, their kids were bored at their summer home, and so they designed a game, or they had a tennis court in their backyard, so they designed a game that was specifically for the kids. So they made it less aggressive and smaller. They used different materials, so instead of a tennis racket and tennis ball, they would use a wiffle type of ball.
Okay.
And then a oversized ping pong paddle.
Okay.
And so the kids, and they designed a lot of the rules so that it would be less aggressive than tennis, so that the kids wouldn't hurt each other. So
this was designed for children,
yes,
not to be overly competitive.
exactly.
Now adults have turned it into a very competitive thing.
Exactly, as usual.
Because adults screw everything up.
We ruined it. But it's interesting because in the 3 years that I've been playing,
Yeah.
it's turned from a just totally social sport, right? Where you could just walk in and just play with anybody anywhere. And you can still do that. That's part of it. But in addition to that now, people have started to become more competitive. So when I first started playing, there were very few tournaments, very few leagues, very few lessons, as a matter of fact. And so you just kind of learned it on your own and jumped in with people that played. So nowadays, it's grown so quickly that there's tournaments every week somewhere. There's leagues all over the place. And it's, of course, become more competitive.
And there's lessons. I mean, let's just recap the last couple of years here in Evergreen Park. I think there's a pickleball court in all the parks have one. It feels like they're all over the place. You probably know exactly where they're all
I
at.
do,
There's two here at Duffy, but they're in other spots in the village, right?
I do. Well, yes, and then over at Veterans Park.
Right. I know that they're over there
on 97th, and it's a little bit smaller, tennis area than this is, but and then. Outside, these are the only two outside.
Okay.
So
there's an indoor one.
Yeah, there's two indoors. There's at Maple Well, which is the church that was converted into a basketball, into a sports facility.
Right.
So they have pickleball, basketball, a lot of kid stuff and that kind of thing. And then they have the tennis club over at 91st in California. And it's a tennis club, even though the high school owns it, and it's...
I mean, if you think about it, there's one in every quadrant.
Oh, yeah.
You have one in every
Yes,
quadrant. You
there
have
is.
pickleball courts in every quadrant. That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes.
Yeah.
And
you're teaching them.
I am teaching them.
So
yeah.
if
Yeah.
I were to come to one of your classes, which I know
Yes.
gets offered through the village.
Right.
If I were to go to one of your classes as pickleball is exploding,
Right.
what's the first thing you would teach me?
Well, the first thing I would teach is safety, because safety is the
This
most
is a dangerous
important
sport.
thing. Well,
I mean, hold on a second. I'm just going to reach down here and grab one of these balls because this little thing here. This is dangerous.
well,
It doesn't even bounce up.
it's not exactly tackle football, and especially with a lot of the age group that plays. But
That's okay. I tore a calf muscle crossing the street last month.
there you
It
go.
is dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
And at my age, I can hurt myself taking a nap. So, so it's not really dangerous in a sense, but safety is really important. And in all the time I've played, and I've played thousands of games, I probably know about 4 or 5 people that got injured.
Got injured playing pickleball.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so anything like a serious injury.
Did they later make up a story that was different about how they got hurt? Did they go? Because that's kind of an embarrassing thing. How'd you get hurt? Pickleball.
There's not a lot of heroic pickleball stories, you know what I mean? But nobody's saving anybody's, jumping in the ocean and saving.
There aren't even like officials when you play, right?
Right.
Isn't it like an honor system?
It's an honor system.
It's an honor system,
and
right?
That's part of what the original intent of it was, because it wasn't supposed to be as competitive.
Right. There's no
right?
pickleball refs.
There isn't. On the professional level, yes.
Oh, okay.
And in some tournaments, they've started to do that to avoid arguments.
Because adults are psychos.
Yeah.
And they ruin a kid's sport.
Exactly. Exactly. But, it's funny because in all the time I've played, I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 arguments or any kind of even aggression. You know what I mean? Because if a ball's out, whoever is playing on that side of the court calls whether it's in or out.
Right.
And so they're going to make mistakes, like every umpire and every official in sports. They're going to make a mistake, right? But we all know that when this team calls it, they're going to make a mistake too. So everybody just kind of determines that it's going to level out. So you call it on your side. There's no officials. And so and it's so extremely rare.
How hard are you hitting the ball? because you're in a very close area here.
Yes.
And I've gotten lost on the old social media going through reels.
Yeah.
And I've somehow got myself caught on pickleball arguments. I've found these before. I found them. They're amazing. And it's like somebody gets angry because somebody hits it too hard. How hard are you hitting the ball? Can you demonstrate? Like maybe pick it up real quick here for those that are.
Yeah.
I'll hold this microphone.
Okay.
Just pick it up. Just loft one over here on camera and show me what the speed of a pickleball shot is. Okay.
Shot.
All right. Typical shot is yeah. I can handle that. I can do that. That's not that bad.
And someone with my
it's like watching that's like a little league kids for those that are just listening to this. That's about the speed of a little leaguer grounding out to second base.
You might say that.
Yeah.
You might say that. And when I was a little leaguer, I could barely hit to second base.
Right.
But that's another story. But there is some what's happened is evolved into a lot of younger people playing the sport, right? And the younger people hit the ball harder. And so you're going to get people that really slam it.
Because adults ruin the game.
Yeah, well, with my experience, I can actually hit it really hard.
Okay.
And it's only because of playing as much as I do and that type of thing. But so yes, but the majority of the games are really they're quick, but they're not. You're not slamming the ball at people, right? So you're trying to keep people out of position.
It feels like it's intended for like you're playing ping pong, but you're standing on the table.
Very much.
That's
so.
essentially what you're doing. You're playing ping pong standing on the table.
Well, that's a good analogy. A little bigger table than a ping pong table.
But as if this were my ping pong table,
yes.
or you had been shrunk to a smaller size,
Yes.
and you're playing ping pong standing on the table.
I would say that's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
But one thing, it's a little bit more exercise than ping pong. I used to be a big ping pong player myself, and there were games where you got a little sweat going in ping pong. But here, if you're playing it right, you're always going to get a good workout.
Okay.
And it's just the right workout in the sense that you're not like killing yourself like tennis. If you're playing tennis, certainly at my age. I would have to have a defibrillator right next to me, probably attached to my back, right?
How long from the point where I start learning from you to where I'm able to get into a game and be competitive, where I'm not embarrassing myself?
Okay.
I'm not saying I got to win every game, but like I'm not embarrassing myself. How long does it take?
Well, and I tell all my students that you're going to embarrass yourself at first, no matter what.
Okay.
And like anything you start that's new, you've never done before, there's that period where you're going to embarrass yourself. The good news is...
Not me, John. Never embarrassed myself once in my life.
Well, it's very hard for me to. I can't, if I haven't already, I can't imagine how pickleball would do it. But no, what I found is that my classes are 2 sessions, 2 hours each, and by the time you're done, you literally know everything you need to know to walk into a game and start playing.
Okay. All right.
And so, I created my lessons based on taking expensive professional guy lessons that were $90 an hour and didn't teach me how to play the game. They really kind of just
You're cheaper. You do it with the village, you're cheaper.
Yeah, I do it with the village. I do it with the Park District. I'm really not doing it for the money because I just love the game so much.
Yeah.
I really love teaching people how to play.
You got any of them coming up soon?
I do. As a matter of fact, we have some coming up this weekend.
Okay.
We've got Saturday and Sunday. There is some openings left. It's I check on the website, but I believe it's 1 to 3.
Okay.
And then we have them in June, at the end of June, the end of July. They're all on the...
Go on the
Park
website,
District,
Rec Department. Rec Department probably has all that stuff, yeah.
I'm also doing a kids summer camp with the youth department. And
to learn pickleball.
Yeah, to learn pickleball. A 3-day
What are the ages?
11 to 16.
11 to 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I got a 10-year-old. I was going to send him up here and get him out of the house. 11 to 16.
If he has a fake ID, we can get him in there.
John's going to sneak him in. I love it. All right. Things that you got to check out on the Rec Department website. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Okay. So why don't we just like a quick let's see if I can hit the ball back. What do you think here?
Quick lesson, yeah.
Just tell me where to line up.
Okay.
Tell me where to line up.
You know what I can do is I'll serve it to you.
Okay.
I'll show you the grip real quick, how to grip it, and how to stick swing. And then I'll hit it to you, and you see.
Well, here, show me the grip while I got the microphone, because once I put it down, nobody's going to hear a word we say.
Okay.
So we'll finish with me embarrassing myself on the pickleball court.
It's easy.
Okay.
It's like a hammer.
All right.
You put the V of your thumb and forefinger right in between, right, and almost like, and you aim it out like you're hammering a nail.
Okay. All right.
And that's all you got to do. That's the basic. They call that a continental grip, and that's how most people
Look at
start.
this. I'm already a pickleball player.
And you've already got the best paddle.
I got the best paddle.
It even says so on there, and I had
It says the best paddle on it.
autographed by Jamie Foxx. And his company makes a paddle.
Is he a professional pickleball player?
He thinks he is.
Okay.
But,
I don't know who he is. You said
Jamie
it like I don't know
Foxx,
who he
the
was.
comedian?
The comedian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jamie Foxx has his own paddleboard?
Yes, his own pickleball paddle.
I just thought it was a different Jamie Foxx.
No. This is the Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and it says the best paddle on it.
And he created it himself, and I've been using it for 3 years.
That's
so.
amazing. Okay, so you're going to back up. We're going to put the mics down real quick. We're going to see. And what are you going to do? You're going to serve it to me, and I'm supposed to return it.
I'm going to serve it to you, and you can return it.
And it's supposed to try to land somewhere in this blue.
Well, anywhere within the blue line.
Anywhere within the blue line. All right, let's see what I can do.
I'm going to serve it angle to angle.
All
now
right,
you hit it back.
Here we go.
Now, do you want me to do a touch serve or a...
Just give me something halfway decent.
All right.
I'm sure I'm going to whip on it.
So you want to go back into that box right in between.
In here?
Yeah.
All right.
Back a little further.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
And I'll just hit you a nice, decent serve. All right. Oh,
I went out of bounds.
just a little bit long. One more. You got to get it in. Otherwise, you can't go out. All right, back up just a little bit.
All right, a little bit. All right.
All right, there you go. Now it's in.
Look at that.
Now it's in.
Look at that.
That's not hard. Anybody can do that, right?
Problem on that first one is that I'm so strong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I've been hitting the gym. And,
Yeah.
I'm just too strong.
Lucky the wind knocked it down, or it might have been on 91st.
Yeah, I mean, I almost hit a home run. I almost landed that one out in center field. Thank you so much, John.
Hey, no worries.
Check out the rec department website for all the details and how you can take lessons with John. I'm going to get out here at some point this summer and do it.
Oh, I hope so.
Once it warms up. For crying out loud, it got cold.
Sign
all
up
of
for a
sudden.
lesson.
Got cold all
You'll
of a
be
sudden.
happy you did.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.